now.
I will have a short SOCRadar presentation, so it will be before Summit.
All right.
How to insert it?
Özkan abi, you can share your screen and then I can take over the screen.
Sure.
What do you
Okay.
think?
Yeah,
I
sure.
mean, it's very short, guys. And then Arbaz, you can start with this logo, this first presentation.
Yeah.
You can introduce yourself. You can talk about the company, and then you can, pass it over to me, and then I'll start from here. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is the plan. So I can start the presentation. And after introducing S2, Oskan can continue and a little bit brief about SOCRadar, and then you can take over.
Yeah. Okay, I'll be starting with these some trends, some insights, and then the real topic, some use cases. I added some examples, Arbas, here about the Habib Bank. So I will ask you a question like, what do you think about this? Like you can say this is the biggest bank in Pakistan, this is very normal to see, etc. You can add your comments. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, from time to time, I will ask questions to you to add your comments here for the presentation. And for example, this is for another example for Pakistan Post. You can also add your comments, like if your customers are getting phished by the same examples, etc.
Okay.
And then I will just continue explaining these use cases, how we can help. And yeah. I will open my camera just for like a couple minutes just to say hi to people, and then I will close it and share the full screen. Is that okay, guys?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it's better them to focus
people
on
can see you and have understanding, and you can then turn that off.
Yeah,
and
and
continue the
because
presentation as well.
I want them to focus on the presentation and the context, and at the end I can open once again, and we can get the questions, etc. You can say goodbye.
Yeah. So are you comfortable taking the questions during the session, or we
Yes.
can do the
we
Q&A
can
in
have
the
it.
end?
We can definitely have the questions on the session. We can, you can tell them like, hey, put your questions into the chat. We will be responding to that. If I see on the chat, we can answer. And other than that, there is one survey that I would like to ask. Like this is a question from me. Like, what do you see as the top concern for the next year? 1, 2, 3, 4. They can add their comments.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then okay, guys. In 10 minutes, we are ready.
Sure, man.
Okay.
Do you know how many people are joining?
I guess 35 to 40 people will be joining. That's how much the content we have received through the registration link.
Guys, are you accepting people or are they waiting?
Yeah, we are accepting.
Good afternoon. We're still waiting for some people to join, and then we will start.
Yeah, sure, brother.
Abbas Ali, would you like to start the webinar? I think we already waited 5 minutes,
Yeah,
and
I think
I believe there will be people joining as well. So I think we are ready to go.
yeah, sure, brother. So, Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and thanks for joining the session webinar. And first, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Arbaz Ali, and I work as a product manager cybersecurity here in S2 Consulting Services. And as a guest speaker, I have Mr. Samit Sazak, who is from SOCRadar, who is senior solutions engineer. And along with him, we have Mr. Oskan Tang, Oskan Tong, and who is the channel CS manager for SOCRadar. And while we continue this webinar, that's especially based on the challenges that we face, especially in CTI, DRP, and brand protection related use cases. So we came up with a plan to highlight the challenges that we are facing, like Pakistan's threat landscape and mitigation techniques with dark web intelligence. So first, Samit, can you share
Yes,
the screen so that
of
I
course.
can proceed with presentation?
Mhm.
Yeah. So first, I would like to brief the audience a little bit about the S2. So we are the pure cybersecurity and only cybersecurity based distributor here in Pakistan. And we have more than 50 cybersecurity products, 15 cybersecurity products, and we have almost 40 plus local partners and approximately 100 customers that are currently on board with S2 Consulting Services. And apart from that, if you talk about the cybersecurity, so the basic value that we add as a distributor is that we have core teams for specific areas in cybersecurity. As a distributor, we have expert in sales, you can say pre-sales, or the major challenges that the industry face is the support services, because normally the resellers are not enough for the primary level of support. So we as a distributor, we add the secondary level of resource. You can say the support services for our partners and also for our principal here locally as well. So let's proceed with the webinar, and guys, if you have any queries during the webinar, please feel free to ask during the webinar, and you can also write in the comment section if you have any question. So I would like to request Mr. Oskan for a brief intro on the SOCRadar, and then we will request Mr. Samit who will be proceeding with the deep dive webinar. So, Mr. Oskan, please continue.
Hello and welcome once again. This is Oskan Tong from SOCRadar Channel Alliances Manager for the Middle East and Africa region. I will quickly present our company. So I will share my screen. Just 1 second, please. Yes, I believe my screen is visible now. So SOCRadar is headquartered in USA. However, it is found by Turkish people from Istanbul, Turkey. I am from Istanbul, Turkey as well. And the founders, the managers of the company are actually Turkish people. And the development team, the analyst team, the core of the company is also in Istanbul, Turkey. But you know, the USA is the heart of cybersecurity business, so therefore our managers, our founders have established the company there in USA. We have presence in so many countries with more than 300 partners across the globe. And so we have presence across the world, I can say. The core of our services and product is threat intelligence, which includes attack surface management, discovery of your digital assets, and checking for vulnerabilities on your attack surface, including mobile applications, as well as checking the dark web and the surface web about your company. We can detect anything about you in the dark web or on the surface web. For example, impersonating domain names, social media accounts, impersonating mobile applications, and so on. And we also have further threat intelligence sources which help companies mitigate their risks. We have integrations with so many platforms, SIEM/SOAR, MDR, XDR, and so you can integrate SOCRadar data with these platforms, which will automate your life easily. We have technical alliances at very significant institutions in the field. For example, if you go to Gartner, you will see that we have a 4.9 rating with actually it's more than 90 ratings, if I'm not mistaken, in Gartner. And we come as number 2 after Recorded Future in this category. We are also a member of CISA. CISA is the institution which announces the CVEs globally, and we are a CVE partner of CISA, which means when there is a zero-day exploit, it is possible that SOCRadar was the source which provided this information to CISA. We are also a member of Cyber Threat Alliance organization. This is a global cyber threat intelligence organization. And we also have technical alliances with Maltego, VirusTotal, DNS0, and as well as we are a anti-phishing partner for Google as well. So when you're surfing in Google Chrome and you receive a phishing alert, it is possible that SOCRadar provided this data to Google. Now, what this means is in general that I have presented is the data quality of SOCRadar. SOCRadar does not compile OSINT information and present to you in a user interface. We are also a source of information, providing data to these partners, including CISA, the most important one maybe. And so we are also data creators, you can think. So you can think threat intelligence business like you are hiring detectives to find information, knowledge about your threats around you. So imagine you hire 2 detectives and one of them has proof and evidence about a threat about you. Let's say someone has been paid this amount of money to find you and shoot you whenever. And the other detective which you hire doesn't have this information for a week or a month, but he is cheaper. So which one do you pay? Do you still pay the cheaper one, or do you go with the detective which can find the information on time and accurately? So this is the difference between SOCRadar and other potential products. The best way to see it, to have a POC with us. We'd be happy to provide you a trial period through our partners, and S2C2 will provide it to us. So thank you. That's all from me, and I'll leave the microphone to Samet, and he will be providing you deeper insight about the threat intelligence and landscape in the region.
Thank you, Özkan. I will take over the screen. So we are going for my presentation part. So first thing first, my name is Samet. I'm currently working as a senior solution engineer here in SOCRadar. And today we have a great topic to talk. And please take your coffee, please take your tea, because I'll be showing you great insights about the Pakistan's threat landscape. And also I prepared a slides deck that has real life use cases. And from time to time, we'll be leading the session with Arbaz Ali from S2. And please, if you have any questions, please put on the chat. We'll be discussing at the end of the session. So our agenda is a little bit about the insights from last year, from this year, and also some predictions for the next year, 2026. I had some examples because of the AI changes in the world. There are too many AI implementations, and there are too many solutions AI powered right now. And here in SOCRadar, we also have a AI focus. We are preparing and we are implementing an agentic AI approach to cyber threat intelligence services. I prepared some examples from dark web. These are real life use cases. These are our daily operations. And I prepared some really good use cases where I can show you and explain the situation right now. And also, of course, we will be talking about the solution, what we can do about these kind of threats. So if we start from the landscape from last year, this is like a generic and overall statistics about the world. What is happening right now? We still see a lot of ransomware attacks, and this is something now we call ransomware as a service, because these companies, these ransomware groups are almost is operating like a company. And we still see a lot of monetization right now. And of course, it's the biggest part is the credential theft via stealer logs. These are happening, and I prepared really great examples how this is happening, and I will be explaining in the use cases part. But this is happening a lot. We do see massive growth in the stealer logs. These are stolen credentials from people. This could be one of your company's employee. This could be just an external person. But we still see a lot of credentials. Credentials are detected in these channels. So the hackers are using these credentials to log into any company service. They are trying to brute force with these leaked passwords, and they still use this credential theft as a big part of ransomware operations. One of the use cases that I will be talking about today is the phishing, and phishing has a lot of shapes, and we will start from the beginning, how these phishings are prepared, how the hackers are building these pages, how they are attacking people, how they're scamming people. But in last year still a year for the phishing, and I'll be showing you how much money is spent on the phishing and the brand impersonation topic. Supply chain attacks, we recently see one of the biggest one it was the NPM repository involved. So this is happening a lot, and it's really hard to trust a third party right now, and we have to work with a lot of companies. So as a company, you have to work with different third parties. You have to work with the local suppliers. So the supply chain attacks is one of the most important cyber attacks from last year, and we have seen biggest companies, there are really big companies, are involved with the supply chain attacks. You focus on your cybersecurity, you focus on you invest your cybersecurity products, you build new SOC teams, you build different teams to protect your company, protect your environment, but still there is the company that you are working with, which you can position as a third-party company. And if they had an issue, then you also have an issue. So we'll be talking about that. Cloud misconfigurations is still a big problem in the shadow IT. So this is this is the world that we are living right now. Everything is on the cloud, and if you do one single misconfiguration, that can lead a huge data leak. For example, we have a couple different solutions to understand the cloud misconfigurations, data leaks from the cloud, and I'll be showing some examples as well. Mobile application spoofing is one of the problem in Android market, and again, I will be showing you some examples. So when it comes to AI, and the world has a now AI focus, everyone is talking about AI. And what we see in the cyber world about AI, there are some models that is used for, for sophisticated cyber attacks. So I will show you some example in my next slides, but they are using LLMs to prepare phishing landing pages. In the past, it was really hard to understand if there's if the hackers prepare their phishing page or email, for example, you could basically understand if it's a different language, you could understand the typo mistakes, the grammar mistakes, you could easily understand and detect that's a phishing website. But right now you can go to any LLM and prepare the same phishing landing page or the same email with a perfect wording, right? Perfect grammar. So they are using these AI models to prepare new phishing and scams to people. But also we do see if you're having a technical issue, if you are lacking of technical issue in the cyber world, they communicate in the hacker forums, they try to get help from the other threat actors. But now we do see they are getting help from AI and the models. This is something we also see in the AI world. Also, they want to use for profiling. So in the past, you have to Google, you have to search, you have to do the OSINT to understand about the company, understand the attack surface, how many people work for there. But right now, you can just go to any LLM, you can go to ChatGPT and ask about SOCRadar, for example. It will provide you a lot of details about SOCRadar, who was the founder, how many people works here. So these are public information, but it makes things easier for you. It also makes things easier for the hackers. Also for the fraud operations, we do see a lot of data stolen, credit cards, the credentials, and right now they are trying to make it easier, their operations, by using the AI and the models. So we'll be talking about this and recent examples about the AI trends. We know that there are some you can call like dark GPTs or the GPTs or the models that is used in the red team operations or the unethical operations. These are like, we categorize them as unethical tools, and you can see these are like uncensored LLMs. You can ask questions and they don't have any filtering for the questions. They can help you for any operation. So in ChatGPT, if you ask like, how can I exploit this, for example, it has a filter and it will understand that, yeah, you are asking for something malicious. You will use that tool, the code, for a malicious purpose, and it blocks basically. But Wolf GPT and the Worm GPT, for example, are recent examples from hackers, hacker forums or Telegram channels that we are monitoring. And these LLMs can be used for the malicious purposes, basically. It's just simple examples, but they are right now using for daily operations. So of course, when we talk about the real world impact, what is happening with the world? So we'll be talking about the digital risk protection and brand protection use cases today. I will show you how the brand impersonation works, how those phishing pages build. But here, this is the reality of the cyber world right now. So you can see the 90% of the organization at some point will face the form of brand targeted threat. This could be like a brand impersonation. You can find a website that is using your logo, that's using your company's name. They can do domain spoofing. They can create new fake social medias as well. This is recently something we see a lot. We do see impersonation on TikTok. So they build a TikTok web page that is using your company's name, and they try to create new videos and trying to scam the people by those videos. They create the video, they put the link into the video, and if you click on that video, for example, for a bank, you can try to, they will try to get your credits and credentials from the page. You think that that's a page where you can get some loan, for example, with a lower interest rate, for example. But it's just a fake TikTok account. It's not the official page of the company. And there are too many examples like that. So the average time from impersonation to fraud attempt is almost like 4 days. So once you click that link, it will take like 4 days to steal the credentials, steal the money from the banking account. In average, in our statistics, we do see like from the beginning of this operation, it will take 4 days for a hacker to steal the money from a person. Phishing via lookalike domains, this is one of the brand impersonation use case. It's globally right now, it's basically $1 billion market. So you may think like I am quite aware, my cybersecurity awareness is quite enough, but if you see these lookalike domains, they can use different characters, they can change, they can prepare typo-squatted domains, and you will not realize while you're clicking. There was a recent example on that. They have been using Microsoft typo-squatted domain, and they basically combined R and N words, characters to build the M character for Microsoft. And on Microsoft Edge, for example, on the browser, if you put R and N in the same format, so it will look like M character. So that was one of the cool tricks that for lookalike domains, and we have a couple different techniques to detect these kind of examples. And credentials, of course, were found for 90% of the Fortune 500 companies. So this is a really big statistics that we do see a lot of stolen credentials from employees, from external people, and all these credentials can be used against them. So eventually, if we say like, what is the conclusion? What we are trying to tell you is the threats are evolving, and we need to change. We need to improve our defense strategies as well. And this is why we are here today. So what is coming for the next year? If we are talking about the recent changes, the AI, etc., what is coming next? So we do see, we guess that deepfake-based business email compromise will be a thing for the next year, because with the AI changes, right now you can build videos, you can generate fake, profile pictures, and you can also use those profile pictures for a C-level of a company, for example. This is something we call executive protection, and I'll be showing you what kind of results it has. But this is something that we do see. Credential markets is for the recent hacker forum takedowns, the authorities and the law enforcement are taking down these hacker forums. We are monitoring a lot of places where hackers are communicating to each other, sharing data. But even though these recent takedowns on the hacker forums, we still see a shift to Telegram or other chat channels. So nowadays, the data is coming from Telegram groups and Discord channels. And if there is another chance to hack for the hackers that they can move for a better anonymous channel, then they just sift. AI-generated phishing kits is one of the problem right now. It's not even for the next year. It is a problem right now. So we do see AI-generated perfect pages, perfect websites for the impersonating websites. We do see perfectly copied websites for a bank, for example. Nation-state campaign is still a problem, and also the geopolitical changes. There are sometimes the motivation of the hacker groups are financial, but sometimes they just want to be hacktivists. They want to show off their capabilities. They just want to say, tell the world that they can do something. So nation states are backed by the governments, and they have enough money, they have enough time, and they can invest this time and money to do counter operations to other countries and intelligence services. So we already, yes.
We have a question. So Mr. Shayanuddin is asking, with the rise of malicious AI tools like Wolf GPT, how can cybersecurity professionals detect AI-generated attacks before they cause real damage?
It is a really good question, Arbazali, because nowadays we also have AI implementations to detect these kind of AI attacks. So, of course, in cybersecurity, human part is one of the important part, but right now to detect and understand these AI-generated content, for example, and again, we have it in SOCRadar, and I will show that part. We still use AI. So for an AI to AI, and again, let's keep this question. I will be showing that part. Supply chain blind spots. Again, we talked about that, but this is something we will see next year again. So my question to everyone in here, I have 4 different categories. What will you see? What will you see as a top concern for the next year? Is it deepfake, social engineering? Do you see the credential theft? Please put in the chat. We'll be talking about that later on. So my presentation is all about these use cases. I have 14 different use cases for you today, and all these use cases covered by SOCRadar. Please put your questions about these use cases as well. So let's start with the first one. We in digital risk protection, or maybe the subcategory brand protection itself, is really focusing on the brand and protect the brand, protect the reputational damage. And one of the important use case that we have is the phishing domain detection. So as you can see on the screen, it's just a screenshot from the Habib Bank in Pakistan. It's one of the biggest bank in Pakistan. You can see they are building these phishing pages. They put some credit cards pictures, they copy the company's logo, and they're trying to mimic, scam the people. They are trying to mimic the website, and they try to get the credit cards info from the page. This could be just a mobile page or a website. So your question could be how we can detect this, right? So in SOCRadar, we have a couple different techniques to detect these kind of websites. We try to potentially find impersonating domains. So by changing the character, we take the company's name, HBL, for example, or Habib Bank is a great example. You can take these keywords and generate possible domains. And then the second stage, after you find those websites, you can monitor the content, because you can find a website has no content, no logo, nothing on the website. But once you have the content, then you can analyze if it's the HBL logo, if they are using the same color, if they are trying to scam people, if they are trying to steal credit cards or the credential. You can, if you analyze the website, then you can answer these questions. So proactively, we try to detect, by using some keywords and the company's name, we try to detect these possible websites that can be registered by hackers. And then we monitor the websites. So once in a day, like it could be any day that someone purchased the domain from a domain provider, they can put a content like this, then we can tell you, we can alert you immediately. There's a phishing content here, and we offer takedown services. So this is one of the use cases that we cover, and I just want to give you an example for the Habib Bank, which is one of the biggest bank in operating in Pakistan. Also, we do see another problem in advertisement market as well. So, of course, it's easy to monitor a website. Once you know the address, you can understand if the logo in use, if there's a phishing content and malicious content. But nowadays, the attackers are also using Google ads or Meta ads just to show you some ads, and these are the scam and these are the phishing ads that you can see on Instagram or any other social media. So in that case, it's a little bit hard to catch it. It's a little bit hard to detect these kind of ads in social media, because they can also be very targeted. If you ever use Google ads or Meta ads, for example, if there's anyone who work for the marketing department, they will understand, because you can target people in Google ads. You can say, I'm only targeting the people between the age of between 50 to 60, for example, and they are targeting old people by just giving some filters, giving some options to Google ads. Or they can say, I want to advertise this fake website only for just 2 hours in Pakistan location. And they can even say, like, I'm only looking for people if they ever visited this bank's website. So in that case, that will be very, very targeted. So hopefully we also have a couple different solutions to understand if there's any Google ads, if there's any phishing and scam email websites on these Meta and Google ads. Hopefully right now the Google and Meta, and there are some other companies providing transparency logs, transparency centers to anyone. So you can basically search for any keyword, any website in Google ads, and you can understand, if there's any active advertisement right now. So if we see one of your companies mentioned in those advertisements on this Google ads or another website, then we can tell you, hey, right now there's an active campaign that is using Google ads, and it's active in the Pakistan region. So anyone can be fail in this trick. So it's really hard to catch these kind of things, but it is one of the use cases. So you can see the Pakistan Post recently was targeted on that. So you get an SMS, and I will be just trying to explain this by giving you some examples. On this picture here, it's a snapshot from the hacker forum that is publishing the people's data. You can see it's 11 million database for Pakistan, and it has your sensitive data. It has your personal data. You in that database, you see the people's name, address information, mobile number, and then they just collect the list from these databases. It starts from the hacker forum. They collect the data from there. They now know your mobile numbers, right? They have a list of mobile numbers, and they start with the SMS. They start with the smishing attacks. They say, hey, there's the package cannot be delivered. So you have to click this link and you have to update your address. You have to pay it. And if you click this link, then it will open this page, which is a fake website. You can see here, everything is fake about this website. They're asking for the credit card number. They're asking for online payment. Everything looks legit, but it's just a phishing website. So if you don't know this, if you're not aware of this, then you will fail in, and you will put your credit cards in here.
Also, I think how they got the information is from the Instagram page of the brand, I guess. So they definitely got the access to the Instagram page of the brand, and
Yes.
through there they got the information related to the users, and through that
Yes.
this malicious link was forwarded to the as a text message. So
Yes.
it's a big threat to the brand. Also, if someone is doing the brand impersonation and getting the details of the user through an
Yes.
Instagram account, that's very common these days.
It's one of the targeted attacks because, again, doesn't matter where you get the information. Once the data is exposed, once your personal data is somewhere, if you are putting those information in somewhere, then it can go public, it can be exposed, and it can be used for
Absolutely.
other operations. This is what we are seeing here. It's the data is public in Hacker Forum. Anyone just can go there and extract the information, then start phishing, for example. So to understand and take a proactive solution, once we have this website in here, we can offer takedown service. We can close this website. We can take it down immediately. Also blocking the page on Google Chrome browser by collaborating with Google Safe Browsing. Also, since we're talking about AI, and we also have an AI implementation for the brand protection use cases. So once we have the website, you can see here, once we have the website here on the SOCRadar platform, if we detected this website, we follow a couple different techniques. Of course, this is super legit, like, everything looks legit in here. Only the problem is the URL. You can basically understand, this is a phishing website, it's not the real one, but still you have to do a lot of things. So right now we are using agents to operate, follow a workflow and understand if the website is malicious, it has a phishing content. One of the agents can check if Pakistan Post logo is used, for example. We can understand if there's any OCR, if there's any keyword for the Pakistan Post, because sometimes just to avoid everything, they don't put any kind of text content here. This is a little bit technical, but if you don't see any text content on the website, it is really hard to understand in an automated way that this is a phishing page or a phishing address for the Pakistan Post. So in that case, of course, we can understand the logo. Yes, we can say, this agent can say, hey, this is impersonating Pakistan Post. We can understand the content, and also there's another agent can understand what is in the website. Is that if the website is looking for credit cards, if it's asking for credentials, username and password, for example. This could be something completely different else. And the website content inspection agent can understand what is in the content. And it can tell you, hey, this website is a phishing page, this website is just impersonating, or this could be like another use case. We can detect the website, everything looks like your company, everything looks legit, and the agent can say, hey, this is an official page because I checked the content, I checked the who is information, and it's an official page. So the alarm agent also is an automated agent that can decide whether this website is malicious or not eventually. So all this content, all these indicators was combined in the alarm agent. It gets the data, and then it decides that's a phishing website, that's an impersonating website. And you may ask why we are using agents, or how this is helping for the detections. If you detect a website like this, you need to use analyst to understand if the content is phishing. You can use, you can check a lot of things on the website, but still, if the phishing page is very targeted, and if they put a lot of effort, then you will not understand that's an official page or not. So in that case, we use agents to reduce the false positive rate. And this agent right now can tell us a lot of things about the phishing and impersonating websites. We have been testing this and it's working for us. So just to jump to dark web part and showing you some examples, I would like to talk about the dark web monitoring service. So what is dark web and what is deep and dark web, what we are doing, why we are doing dark web monitoring? It is actually, we have 3 goals in here. One of them is we try to, by collecting data from these hacker forums and other places, we have 3 goals. One of them is obtain advanced information for targeted attacks. So we just monitor these places and we can tell you if there's anyone, any threat group, any ransomware groups is trying to target your company. If they are talking about your company, if they are trying to build a phishing website, for example, if they are preparing on a cyber attack, then we can tell you. This is one of the most important reasons that we are providing dark web monitoring service. Secondly, we have another goal, just to discover new hacking tools and exploits. Since they are communicating each other, they're also sharing a lot of data. They are sharing tools. When they find a new vulnerability, they want to show off in these channels. They want to show other threat groups and threat actors that someone did something. And by monitoring these places, we can tell you if there's a new fraud technique, if there's a new hacking tool, if there's another a vulnerability that they are publishing. So it's really hard. It's really important to understand what is happening in the channels, and eventually we are trying to understand the perspective of the hacker. So why they are doing this? We're trying to answer 3 questions actually. One of them is, if they are targeting you, how they are targeting you, and if they are targeting you, why they are targeting you. And we also try to understand the mentality, the motivation behind. So is it money, for example? Sometimes they have the financial motivation. Sometimes they are just hacktivists. They want to do just for their country, they want to do something about it. And sometimes it's just, showing off. They want to get the reputation in these channels. So there are multiple channels and there are a lot of information that you can collect, but we provide dark web monitoring services for these 3 goals actually. So jumping to some examples. So this is one of the hacker forums that we are monitoring, and there are really, really multiple versions of these forums. So sometimes you can even reach these websites, not even using Tor browser or Tor network. It's just public websites. Everything looks similar to another clear website. You can just use Google to access these websites. But the most important thing is sometimes they're asking money for just to register to website. They're asking for escrow, which is like the middleman, to get into these forums. So they want to understand if you are someone that they can trust, if they are trying to understand if you are a threat intelligence analyst or someone from the law enforcement. But eventually these forums are public, and if you know how to access these forums, then you can extract a lot of intelligence. You can see it's the Pakistani citizens database, another one. It's from 2025. You can see 600 million records in here. You can see the full number, phone number, address information, social security number, ID type, a lot of things in here. So normally they are trying to sell this information, but sometimes they just dump for free, like this one. Once the other threat group have this information, they start building new attacks, like the phishing example. You get an SMS that's saying that your your bank account needs to be updated, for example. It is one of the examples that we keep track of, the data for the Pakistan region. Also, not just limited to hacker forums, but also Telegram channels as well. You can see the pro-Russian group here is basically showing off that they recently did a DDoS attack to some websites in here, Altis Construction. So this group is completely a hacktivist group, a pro-Russian group. They are targeting all European institutions. And on the second one, you can see another one that we have been tracking for Pakistan, and you see some similar operations, similar threat groups, and doing the same operations. So we monitor these places, and we can inform you if your company is targeted, if your institution is targeted, also in the government level. So going forward with the use cases for digital risk protection, you can see these credential exposures, what can they, what you can end up with these credential leaks. So it was the Daisy Group, a cloud service provider, suffered a security breach and approximately 30,000 login credentials stolen, exposed. And this incident highlights the significant risk associated with the cloud data security and the misconfiguration as well. So we do monitor info-stealer malwares. We can tell you if there are any active info-stealer malware for the region, for the country, if they are targeting your people, if they are targeting companies, because once your computer or mobile device infected with stealer malwares, they can steal everything from the browser. It could be credential, it could be your Netflix account, it could be your banking account, it could be anything. And you may ask, like, if you are using two-factor authentication, there are some malwares that can run in the Android, devices. So in that case, they can steal two-factor authentication as well. So eventually, you ended up with these cases that there's a huge exposure that your employees, your customers goes public. This is just one of the examples. Also, we are talking about dark web, but there are some data leaks also in surface web, and GitHub or other code repository is also one of the use cases that we cover. So it's just a developer mistake, if you think, because if you are using GitHub or any other code repository, you push some codes into these code repositories. And if the developer forget masking the data, this could be like an IP address. It could be a test environment as well. If you miss the masking the data on the code repository, could be like the password, or sometimes we do see APIs. If it's public in GitHub, then anyone else can access the private key, the password, and the VPN credential. Could be anything, a database info, for example, like examples for the Deloitte. This can be used by the threat groups right now. So to understand if there is any sensitive data in these public code repositories or any surface web, we have a module where we call surface web monitoring, and this module specifically monitor these kind of credential sensitive data for the companies. If we can, understand if there's any website used in here, Deloitte.com, or this could be your company, abc.com, we will try to understand these sensitive data leaks. Also, of course, takeovers, account takeovers. It's not just about the monitoring, but also, understanding the misconfiguration that you have. If there's any vulnerability in one of your services, it could be a third-party product like GitLab, for example. And if there's any exploit for it, then they can steal your code repository. If you put some sensitive data on your development environment, it can be stolen by the hackers by just exploiting these vulnerabilities. As an example, this happened to GitLab, and there were a lot of data exposed by just exploiting this vulnerability by the hackers. Also, we are covering another use case where we called executive monitoring or VIP monitoring. And Elon Musk it was a really nice example actually for the executive protection module. So we built a specific module to understand if your C-levels are targeted by hackers. So when you think C-levels and the managers are heavily targeted by hackers, because it makes sense for them to target these people. They have more sensitive data on their computers. They have more sensitive data in their mobile for the company. They are working with working with the business and the business departments, for example. So if today a hacker, for example, can access to C-levels sensitive information, this could be a mobile number, for example. If I know your C-levels, and most of the time you will add your board members into the company's website, for example, so they will know the names, they will know some email info sometimes, and they start from that. So we do monitor a lot of data exposed, and these are also including other databases. So if the C-level is using a service, for example, like Twitter or New York Times, and if New York Times today exposed, if their database goes public, then also the sensitive data goes public. In New York Times database, you can see one person, Elon Musk, and you can find the mobile number of Elon Musk, or you can find the address information, could be social security number. Even there could be more sensitive data. It depends on the application or the service that you are using. But nowadays, for the executive monitoring, what we see, If they have the sensitive data, they try to ransom the C-levels. So they go to the C-level, they send an email, hey, I have this information for for you. It is very sensitive. I got this from IBC, from your computer, from your mobile. They try to ransom the C-levels. This is the one of the use case. Second, they try to scam your employees. So the CEO fraud or CEO impersonation, an attack that we see quite common in these days, they build social media accounts. They build Telegram pages, profiles, using your company's C-levels profile picture. They are trying to contact your employees saying that, hey, I need money, this is a very private task that I'm assigning to you, and it happened. So the CIA fraud is one of the top use cases that we have under digital risk protection. And to protect your C-levels, you need to know what is exposed. You need to know what they can find about your C-levels. So to understand these, you need to have some kind of monitoring for the C-levels. And to do that, we are offering executive monitoring. We can also tell you if there's any TikTok account right now or any kind of social media account for the C-levels using the same profile picture of the C-level for the manager, we can alert you saying that this account need to be taken down just to protect the C-level. Info stealers, we talked a little bit about that, but this is my second use case. Again, these info stealers are really similar to any legit application that you can run on your computer or your mobile device. So everything looks legit. They are in the application level. Most of them are just easily bypassing to any EDR or antivirus solutions. And their aim is to collect the credentials, the data from your desktop. Sometimes if the hacker sees some sensitive documents from your computer, they can start collecting the data, but also they can use it for lateral movement. They can jump to another computer in the company. They can start sending emails to the other colleagues. They can start sending phishing emails, for example. So once you are infected, and normally this infection is, they can send an email. This could be a phishing email that has an attachment. You click on it and then you infect it. Sometimes we do see a third-party applications for mobile, and I already have that use case on my slides. So there are a couple different ways, like you just download a third-party application from an untrusted source and you are infected. So once you are infected, they are trying to sell these credentials in black markets, in hacker forums. So nowadays, it's really easy to be a hacker. You just go to these sources, you get the credentials, and you start doing some operations. So because you don't need to have vulnerability, you don't need to try to exploit, because they're already a beautiful information that they can use. Your employee's credential. They already have access to one of the computer inside of the company's network. So you get the credentials, you start the operation. So for that stolen credential, and specifically if it's coming from info stealers, that this can end an incident like the Snowflake, for example. Another example for Cisco. Cisco hit by the same method as well. This was a recent use case. Actually, it's a little bit old, but we do see a lot of companies hit by the same, same info stealers, stolen credentials, basically. Once they have the credential, they can access to your company's internal. And you can see it's a screenshot from our platform. We have a specific module for this credential leak detection. It's called Identity Access Intelligence. And you can see a lot of data. We try to understand the data, like, if it's coming from Pakistan and the ISPs from the Pakistan, because we already have too many details about the stolen data. We can tell you which IP addresses it was in use in the computer, what was the infection time, what was the malware used to steal that information. So this data is coming from public sources like the Hacker Forum, Telegram, and we collect and trying to extract some intelligence from those credentials. And I can say Pakistan is one of the most targeted country for info stealers. So they are trying to phish and they are trying to scam people just to infect the devices, computers, and devices as well. So once your computer is infected, once your mobile is infected, every data goes public from that browser. History, the cookies, the sessions from the computer. And again, from the hacker's perspective, I don't need to exploit one of your applications right now, because I can already find some credentials. It's a direct it's a direct access to one of the employees' machine. And from that, once I have the access, I can do the lateral movement. I can try to jump to a database. I can start, ransoming the company. I can infect other computers. So it's really easy from that point. So this is one of the most important use case under digital protection. Also, not limited to dark webs and the other services. We can tell you if there's any sensitive data leak on surface web. You can find all these kind of data in different sources. We keep monitoring these places for your company. And as an example, there was the Trello incident, and their database had been breached. And we do see a lot of sensitive data. And to be honest, my personal data is also exposed with the Trello database leak, for example. There was no password, at least. The password was hashed, but still some sensitive data. So this can happen to anyone at the moment. Business email compromise, we talked about that, but you can see how it looks like. They can send you an email to your employees. They can mimic one of your CEO, one of your C-levels. And again, here as statistics, you can see Europol dismantled a criminal network involved in CEO fraud. So this was just a group that is doing the CEO fraud. And you can see this was resulted in the theft of 38 million for a short time period. So you may understand how impactful, how effective these attacks to people and the companies. So they send you an email, hey, it's your CEO. I have been locked out from my business account. Can you help me? This could be for your IT department. This could be for the finance team asking for, hey, I need to urgently, I need to send this money to this company. Here, the bank account. Please do it for me. You receive similar things. And most important thing is the situational awareness of your employees. You need to train your employees to understand this is a fake email and this content is malicious. So that's the easiest way to prevent these attacks, right? If I see that email is not my company email, there's a fake email address here, right? So that's one of the fake address. I can understand this is not my CEO. You can see not within the business hours. There are too many indications that you can understand this is just a business email, compromised email. So it's just an attack. So for us, the most important solution is the situational awareness of the employees. But plus, we can still monitor and try to understand who is doing this activity. We're first trying to understand who is targeting you. And we try to tell you like how they are doing it and also the way they do it. So the techniques, they are preparing these emails, they are preparing this content, they are using this database to target your employees. So we're trying to explain all these kind of data and intelligence about the attack that's coming to your company. Also, we talked about the fake mobile applications when it comes to info stealers. So you can see these two hacker forum detections, how they are preparing, how they are selling these, Android rats, or we call it botnets, Android banking botnets. So they prepare these applications. These applications, these malwares can provide a lot of things. They can say, this my application, my malware has multiple options. You can create new malwares. You can, for example, you can target Habib Bank in Pakistan. They already put the website. They already prepared the mobile pages, screen takeover attacks. So you can see they're showing off their functionalities. And by just monitoring these places, you can learn about these malwares. And once we learn about the malwares, once we did the reverse engineering, once we did the analysis, we share all the SOC teams so that they can also their measures. They can prevent these Android banking botnet malwares. So they can learn how they're operating and they can build new measures to protect their customers. And normally we do see, this is also another brand protection use case, because there are some markets which we call like these third-party mobile application markets, or you can call it fake mobile application markets. So they download everything from Android market. This is a pure case for the Android market. This is not applicable for iOS because you can't download the application and upload somewhere else. iOS or Apple World doesn't allow you to do and install third-party applications. So you have only one option in iOS. You have to go to application market and download the application from there. But for Android market, you can download the APK file, which is the Android application. And these APK Pure, APK Mirror, for example, these APK markets are downloading these APK files from the official market and republishing again. So by sometimes a malicious, a threat group, threat actor can download the application, inject some malicious code, and then re-upload to the third-party market. So it's a user mistake. As a user, you have to download the application from a trusted source, but sometimes they just Google it, they find these websites and they download it. Sometimes they download these games, for example, because they can provide you unlimited credits, for example. It's a very common mistake. You download this application from here and you install it. So once you install it, you are basically infected with infostealer malware, and all credential goes to hacker. From there, it goes to black market and to the hacker forums, and they sell this information. So we have an option, we have a solution, and we are monitoring all these mobile application markets. If your company's mobile application is detected in these sources, we let you know, we alert you, and we also offer takedown services. So if one of your application like this one, for example, again, an example for Pakistan, we can take it down from the market. Insider threats is also another example. So you can see these threat groups are now recruiting people. So they are offering money, they are offering Bitcoins to hire people. So this is a really important category that we know. So if we see any content in hacker forums for your company, we alert you saying that someone is looking for employees of your company, and they are ready to pay money to an employees. And what normally they are offering to employees, hey, I have a malware and I will pay you Bitcoins. I will send you an email and I will send you the malware. What I need from you is just to, click this malware and then you can get the money. That's the only thing that you need. So this is one of the use cases for ransomware groups that are now offering people, hey, if you are working for this company, I will send you the malware, and after that, I will pay you Bitcoins. So let's imagine a use case that one of your employees are already ready to leave the company. They are hating the company. They don't want to work with you. They have some issues in their personal life. So also including the social engineering, they profiling employees. And once they have the target, they send this offer to them. And once you click that malware, you get the money in Bitcoin, and from now on, one of your employees' machine is infected. Of course, the SOC teams and the pressure, the measures that we have can detect these kind of things. But we can tell you, if anyone right now is in these hacker forums or Telegram channels is planning to do something to your company, we can tell you by just monitoring. This is the beauty of the intelligence that we collect here. Also, not just the hacker forums. Again, I was combining use cases from surface web and dark web. We can monitor sensitive data leaks on malware analysis platforms, for example, or any other public sources. This could be one of the examples. We are monitoring these sandboxes. And, like one of your employee can just upload a file, and this could be the CEO, a business document, for example, doesn't need to be shared in publicly. So it could be a private document, needs to be staying in the company's network, company's environment. And if it goes public, for example, we can monitor and tell you, hey, we are seeing a public data here. It's a document. There's the signature, there's the address, there's the, this could be a purchase, any kind of sensitive document can go public. And this could be just another employee mistake. They just want to learn that if the file is malicious or not, they can upload somewhere in public. And this is how we can detect, because we are monitoring these sources. And many, many, many more detections coming from hacker forums, from surface web. And we are trying to build different solutions because they are evolving their techniques. We are trying to build the solutions. And for just Pakistan, you can see a lot of things are happening. So it's really important to understand first these are happening because not everyone has the source to monitor these channels. Not everyone has basic cyber awareness that this can be happen to your company. This can be happen to your country's institutions. There are too many operations are happening. So I just wanted to show you today examples. I wanted to show you that these are really great and important use cases that for the institutions and companies in Pakistan. Also, we want to offer you the solution. So if you want to see what is happening for your company, or if there's any detections for your company, you can just scan this QR code, or you can just go to SOCRadar website and you can get this dark web report. The only thing that you need to put is the website of your company, and you can learn if there's already some data leaks, credential leaks. If there's any mention, if anyone is talking about their company, this report can tell you. And to see more, you can jump to the platform and you can you can talk to our partner here, S2. You can talk to us and learn more. So thank you so much for your time today. Hope it was helpful for you. So if there's any question, I would like to answer. If not, we can finish the session. So and see you next time. Arbazali, do we have any questions?
Thanks, Samit. Thanks for your valuable insight throughout the session. And it was a very informative session. And if anyone has any question, please feel free to ask. We are more than happy to answer your queries.
Okay, I think we had only one question about AI, and rest is fine, I guess. From my side, I would like to thank once again, guys, for your time. Thank you so much, and see you for the next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Have
Thanks
a great
all
day.
the attendees
Bye-bye.
for joining the session. Yeah, you too, man.